Hello there, welcome back to training. Tim Warner here, continuing our journey with Anthropic's Claude Cowork. You know, in the intro video I posted on Cowork the other day, I had an incomplete understanding of the tech. I said at the time that it was going to be limited to file system tasks. That's mostly true. Cowork told me yesterday that it uses a VM, a virtual machine, in the background. And as I learn more about the plumbing of Cowork, I'll continue to share with you. But today is going to be about Mac automation. What I got wrong the other day was I didn't realize, I totally forgot about the connector and model context protocol, or MCP, ecosystem that we can extend. Let me show you. Now, first of all, if you didn't watch my other video, unfortunately, as of January 2026, you do have to have a Mac computer to use Cowork. Cowork is instantiated as an extension of the Claude Desktop for Mac application, which you can see right here. Note, we've got our chat, we've got our Claude code, and now we have Cowork, all right? And what I want to start with is over in the right bottom here, CL connectors. That'll show us our proprietary data connectors as well as MCP servers that I've added in. And specifically, I want to see how it says down at the bottom, looking for desktop extensions, manage them here. The terminology is unfortunately fuzzy here. You've got capabilities, connectors, extensions. How do you keep one from the other? It's pretty annoying. It's simple as that. But the extensions here, let me show you. If you go to extensions, we're in the Claude app settings, by the way. I'm going to go to Browse Extensions. This is the screen I wanted to show. And even though I clicked the button that said Browse Extensions, notice that it goes back to calling them connectors. Essentially, if we stay on the desktop extensions, we can look at these as standard I/O MCP servers that tap into various common, either a SaaS application like Context 7, or there's scripting shims. Funnily enough, a lot of these are Mac only, and even more funny, a lot of them rely on AppleScript. Look here, control your Mac, execute AppleScript to automate tasks. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole on this. I've been a Mac guy since the original Macintosh. Can't believe in 2026 we're still talking about AppleScript, you know, but again, my understanding as it evolves here is that AppleScript is used as a shim to get us into Z Shell and Bash, and potentially underneath that into the mechanics of Mac OS. But as you can see, I'm going to load in these tools that give us much deeper hooks from Claude Desktop and Claude Cowork into our Mac computer. So technically what I'm showing here is stuff you can achieve with just Claude Desktop, but you know, hey, I want to show you as much as I can. Let me go back to that extensions gallery. So what I've installed, I've got, let's see, the Desktop Commander is a pretty cool one. And if we take a look at its configure screen, notice that there's 14 read-only tools and 12 read-write tools here, where we can set config values, we can work with files, we can start a terminal. Again, this is going to unlock our Mac automation. And what I want to do here in Cowork, and another reason, besides the fact that it's the latest hotness, that I want us to work in Cowork, is that we can combine Mac automation tasks at the OS level with work in our file system. You know, if you read some of the literature and initial tutorials on Cowork, they talk about pointing it to a directory of all your files and say, go ahead and organize these. And it's fine for that. So what I'm going to do is, given our connector space, I'm going to start a new task. And I've got a couple use cases that you might be interested in as well if you're an IT person. Check this out. Examine my local Git CLI settings and give me your best suggestions for adds, tweak, delete for quality of life and performance. Now, I know that in your home directory you've got git config, but bear with me here. I love this kind of optimization. I've been a systems person, a maker for a long time, and having AI help with this is super convenient. So notice here that we have a tool call. Happy to help examine your local Git CLI settings. Let me first request access to a directory on your computer. Well, I don't really need it to go into my file system. Well, actually, it does need the file system, come to think about it. I just pointed it towards the desktop folder. I guess it just needed a hook in there. I just as well probably could have went to my home folder. Now this is kind of weird because it's erroring out essentially saying I can't do it, but before I started recording, let me go back in time and let me show you this. Look here. This is a previous task that I ran just like an hour ago. I said, "Can you see my Git CLI commands on this or the settings on this Mac and suggest quality of life and performance?" And look, if we look at the steps, it just opened a terminal behind the scenes in its VM and it listed out the commands, which is totally fine. And then it checked my version. And then it told me that I basically just have bare bones, and it gave me some suggestions here, including credential caching and performance improvements. Fine, let's hold on to that for a second. And then I said, okay, please now examine my Mac startup apps and suggest performance and reliability improvements. And there, let's take a look at the steps. Again, it ran some bash commands, and then it ran Apple script. And then it said the VM I'm running doesn't have access to your Mac system config, and it gave me some terminal commands that I could run manually and what to look for. Normally, at the earlier days of Gen AI, that's definitely a win, and I would still consider it a win in 2026. But I'm looking at automation here, so I followed up here with a question. You can't run these commands? And let's see, it did some more terminal. It said I'm running in a Linux VM sandbox. You see, Cowork is leaking some details that you and I can learn in terms of plumbing under the hood that doesn't have access to your Mac's file system, but it then realized that it could use the Desktop Commander MCP tool that I loaded that can access your actual Mac file system. Let me try that, and now it's given me a run of my current startup items. That's the kind of automation I need. Again, before you think, Tim, this is so Mickey Mouse, dude, I can look at these startup items, again, by going into library, launch agents, you can see everything in the file system. But I want you to think about this in the future, cross OS, and also in a larger scale, where you're touching maybe more than one system at once. These are some of the promises of agentic AI, and it's given me some suggestions. It says, would you like me to generate a complete cleanup script, or do you have questions? Well, I'm going to try to live a little dangerously. I'm going to explicitly hint Cowork, use the Desktop Commander MCP and other MCPs connectors that are relevant to implement both the Git CLI optimizations as well as, well, I'm just going to say the Git optimizations. I don't think I want it to do heavy surgery on my startup environment yet. I'll make sure to choose Opus, the most robust model. And let's see, I'm as curious as you probably are to see what's going to happen here. It says it's going to implement the Git CLI optimizations directly using Desktop Commander, using the MCP tool. That's what we want to see. While we're waiting for that, I'm really desperate for a win here, in case you can't tell. I mean, remember, this is research preview, basically, so we're early days with this. We've got to expect that the software's got bugs, and I've obviously got gaps in my understanding. Look on your screen now, just for grinsies. I looked in my Mac's Pictures folder in my Snagit. See all these SnagX files? Now, I'm not sure that the AI is going to be able to do anything with these, but what if we could have it take a look at the images and give them more descriptive names as opposed to a date. Let me go back to my Claude desktop application. Looks like we're being prompted for a Desktop Commander. I'm going to choose, again, it's going under, it's my settings. I'll choose Always Allow, and I'm going to work in parallel here by starting a new task, and I'm going to work in a folder, choose a different folder. I'm going to go to Pictures, and I'm going to choose Snagit. Allow Claude to change the files here. I will say Always, and I'm going to say, can you read these snag X files? If so, I need you to parse them visually and rename them to something terse and descriptive. Use hyphens as separators, no timestamps, or numeric sequencing necessary. All right, well, again, I'm really fingers crossed here. I'm interested to see. If it's not able to see the SnagX files, then that's going to stall us right at the gate. But if it is, this could be a big win, turning what looked like a bunch of, time-stamped junk that I'm probably not going to ever look at to something that I might actually be able to repurpose. Right, so it looks like that the SnagX files are zips, and it's able to crack open each one. Again, we can see behind the scenes the bash or the Z shell that's going on. So it can, in fact, get to the images. I see some that are already descriptively named. Let me extract. So it's telling us what it's doing. And I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what we decide to do here. I can see the content clearly. Let me continue extracting and viewing the remaining files. Nice. Let's go back to our Git config and see if this is finished. Done. Your Git CLI is now fully optimized. Here, what I've configured. It's created aliases, some performance settings. Really nice. Check this out. I just had this idea burst off the top of my head. Can you adjust my default terminal to load PowerLine? I want my prompt to start with the Git repo name or folder name. I'll just say repo name for Git repos. Then path, then Git status with icons. Make it pretty, make it functional, and make it red, green, colorblind, safe. Lots of contrast. Right. So it's like your wish is my command. If you remember I Dream of Jeannie, I'll set up a beautiful, functional, colorblind, safe PowerLine prompt for your terminal. This is sweet. I mean, you can literally just sit there as an IT professional. And these are things that I know from bitter experience would normally take me down a Google rabbit hole if I even had the time to do that. And maybe to Stack Overflow and blog sites to figure out what to do and when to do it. Oh, then I used an outdated tutorial. I've got to start over again. Nowadays, we're living in a declarative world. So if you're a programmer, I would say don't be too put off on that notion that generative AI is going to make writing code from scratch irrelevant. You still need to read the code and understand it, absolutely, even if we're not going to be writing it line by line much from now on. It's just a different paradigm. Instead of having to get in there with the actual syntax and writing your logic, we're going to be thinking more and more from a systems perspective, a declarative standpoint, what you want and how you want to get there. Maybe you could be imperative and combine declarative with imperative programming and describe your desired state. Okay, so it's going ahead and installing a nerd font. Nice. That's something else I could follow up with the AI and say, I like JetBrains Mono. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I like JetBrains Mono nerd font, please. Send that in. Let's go back to our previous job with the Snagit files. I've reviewed the files. Here are my proposed renames. Okay, should I proceed? I'm glad that it asked me. I'm going to say yes. go ahead, thanks a bunch. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here at the end. We also, let me call it out here, when you're in a Cowork project, don't ignore these info panels on the right. I love the adherence to a to-do list that the Anthropic products use, and they all do this. And we can see the steps that it's taking, the tasks that it's completed, the tasks that are left. We can see our working folder and working files, and then our surrounding context. Fun fact, I learned that Claude Code was the principal author of Cowork, that Anthropic let Claude Code work for like a week and a half, I think is what they said it took. And I don't know what that means. Does that mean that Claude Code was working around the clock for a week and a half? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but yeah, pretty cool. Let me go to macOS Finder, and there we have it. So if we go back to our Snagit folder, I now have much more meaningful SnagX files, and maybe I want to reuse or take some action on those. Really nice, really nice. And then lastly, to finish with a flourish, what do we have going on here? Another tool call here as it's working with our terminal to set up PowerLine. I'm going to choose always allow, and I'll pause the video so that you can see the end state. The video's getting a little bit long, and then we'll say goodbye until next time. All right, Areno, let me find my terminal, and let's open up a new session. Yeah, there we have it. So I'm in my home folder, and if we go into a Git directory, let's try context engineering. We're on our main branch. All right, good. So that's a basic PowerLine. It's not very colorful, but you know the pattern now. I can just simply go back with Cowork and get it, dial it in precisely. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I've got PowerLine set up just the way I like it on my Windows terminal. I'm going to grab a screenshot on my Windows box, pass that image into Claude Cowork and say, make it so. That's what I'm talking about. Mac automation with Claude Cowork. Thanks a lot for your participation as always. I'll see you next time. Later.